English learning podcast.
Here you learn to speak and shine.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Speak English with Filza, the podcast where we talk about real life in real English. I'm Filza, and sitting with me today, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Jake.
Hey everyone! I love how you said wonderful. I feel like today I need to earn that title.
You always do. Okay, so today's topic is something that I think every single person listening has experienced. We are talking about why healthy habits keep failing, even when you really, truly want to change.
Oh, I felt that personally. Can I say that already? We haven't even started yet and I already feel attacked.
You and me both, Jake. You and me both. And for everyone listening, whether you're learning English or just looking for something real to think about, this one's for you. Grab your tea, get comfortable, let's talk. Okay, Jake, let me ask you something very honest. Have you ever woken up one morning and thought, that's it, today I'm changing everything? New diet, gym every day, no sugar, sleep early, drink water, meditate, all of it?
Oh, wow. I feel like you just described every single New Year's Eve of my life. Seriously, every January 1st, this is my year. By January 8th, I'm back on the couch eating chips.
January 8th. That's very specific, Jake.
I've tracked it, sadly. But in all seriousness, what is that? Why does that happen? Like, the motivation feels so real in that moment. You genuinely mean it.
Right? And that's the thing. You do mean it. That's what nobody talks about. People assume if you quit, you never really wanted it. But that's not true at all. The wanting is real. It's the system that fails, not the person.
Say more about that. What do you mean by the system?
So think about it this way. When most of us decide to build a habit, we rely on one thing, motivation. That feeling of, I can do this. But motivation, it's like a spark, right? It lights things up for a moment, and then the wind blows, and it's gone. It's not designed to last.
So, what should we rely on instead?
Structure, environment, and honestly, patience with yourself. But before we get there, I want to talk about something that happened to me a few years ago, because I think it'll make this so much clearer.
Ooh, story time. Yes, please.
So, this was during a really stressful period in my life. Work was overwhelming, I wasn't sleeping well, and I decided I need to fix my health. I bought a journal, I downloaded 4 different habit apps, I made a beautiful color-coded schedule, and for about 5 days, I was basically a lifestyle blogger. I was walking in the morning, drinking lemon water, sleeping at 10 p.m.
Haha, that sounds exhausting, actually.
It was exhausting. And then day 6, I stayed up until 2 in the morning doing absolutely nothing productive. Just scrolling on my phone. You know that feeling? When you're not even enjoying what you're watching, but you can't stop.
Oh, I know that feeling, deeply. Like you're trapped in a scroll loop and a part of you keeps saying, put the phone down, and the other part just taps to the next video.
Exactly. So I missed my morning walk. And then I felt guilty. And because I felt guilty, I thought, well, I've already ruined it, so why bother? And that was the end of my wellness era.
Wait, that's such an important thing, though. That moment where you think, I've already ruined it, so why bother? Does that feeling have a name?
It does, actually. Researchers call it the what the heck effect. Isn't that funny? The what the heck effect. You slip once, you think, what the heck, I already failed. And then you completely abandon the goal. One missed day becomes 10, becomes forever.
Okay, so let's go deeper, because I feel like there's something else going on beyond just motivation runs out. Like, I've tried to build habits before, and there's this voice in the back of my head that says, you're not that kind of person.
Oh, Jake. Yes, that voice. That is honestly one of the biggest reasons habits fail, and it's the one we talk about least. It's not about the habit, it's about your identity.
What do you mean by identity in this context?
So here's the thing. Most people approach habits backwards. They say, I want to run 3 times a week. That's a goal. But the deeper question is, who do I need to become to make that natural? Because if deep down you believe, I'm not a healthy person, every habit will feel like you're wearing someone else's clothes, uncomfortable, forced, and eventually you take them off.
Wow, that's actually a really powerful way to put it. So, how do you change the identity? That sounds like therapy level work.
It can be, but it can also be surprisingly small. Like, instead of saying, I'm trying to be a runner, what if you said, I'm someone who moves their body? That tiny shift in language, it changes how you see yourself. And habits follow your self-image, not the other way around.
So we've been saying, I'm trying to be healthy, when we should be saying, I am someone who takes care of my body.
Exactly. And you build that belief through evidence, small actions repeated, not big gestures. Because every time you drink an extra glass of water, every time you choose the stairs, every time you go to bed even slightly earlier than usual, you're basically voting for who you want to be.
Voting for who you want to be. I love that. But wait, can I bring up something? Because there's a part of this where environment plays a huge role too, right? Like, it's hard to vote for healthy habits when everything around you is designed to pull you in the opposite direction.
Oh, 100%. And this is where I think we put too much pressure on willpower. People treat willpower like it's a personality trait, like some people just have it and others don't. But actually, willpower is a muscle. It gets tired. And if your environment is constantly working against you, you'll exhaust it before lunch.
Okay, can I be embarrassingly honest right now? I once tried to stop eating junk food at night. I was doing so well. And then I couldn't sleep. And I remembered there was chocolate in the kitchen. And I thought, I'll just go check if it's still there. Just check. I wasn't going to eat it. Obviously, I ate it. The whole thing.
Just going to check. Jake, that is everyone. That is literally everyone who's ever tried to diet. And here's the lesson. What if the chocolate wasn't in the house at all? You can't eat what isn't there. That's not discipline. That's environment design.
So instead of fighting ourselves constantly, we make it easier to do the right thing?
Yes. Put your running shoes next to the bed. Keep the fruit on the counter, not hidden in the fridge. Put your phone charger outside the bedroom. Make the good choice the easy choice. Make the bad choice require effort. Simple but powerful. Okay, I want to go into something a bit more emotional now. Because I think one of the reasons habits fail that we almost never admit is this. Sometimes we use bad habits as a way to cope. And giving that up, it's not just hard, it's scary.
That's deep. Say more.
So, comfort eating. For a lot of people, food isn't just food, it's comfort. It's the thing you reach for after a terrible day at work. It's the reward you give yourself after something hard. And when you try to take that away without replacing it with anything, you're not just changing a habit, you're removing a coping mechanism. And that feels terrifying.
I never thought about it that way. Like, I sometimes scroll on my phone for hours at night, and I always told myself it's laziness. But honestly, after a stressful day, my brain is so full, scrolling is the one thing that turns it off. It's not laziness, it's like a pressure valve.
A pressure valve. I love that. And Jake, you're not alone. That's why so many people who are stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed struggle the most with habits. Because you don't just need a new routine. You need to deal with what the old routine was hiding.
So what do we do, like practically?
First, just acknowledge it. Don't fight yourself. When you find yourself reaching for your phone at midnight or eating when you're not hungry, don't say, I'm so weak. Instead, ask yourself, what am I actually feeling right now? Sometimes just naming the emotion, I'm stressed, I'm lonely, I'm tired of thinking, takes away some of its power.
And then what?
find a replacement, not just a removal. If scrolling is your pressure valve, fine. But what if you replaced 20 minutes of scrolling with 20 minutes of something that feels equally easy, but slightly better? A podcast you enjoy, a warm cup of tea, writing 3 sentences in a journal. Not a total transformation, just a gentle swap.
Can I share something weird? Sometimes I'll be lying in bed trying to sleep, and my brain just starts. Like, did I say something awkward in that meeting 3 weeks ago? Do I need to change careers? What am I doing with my life? And it's 1 a.m. And none of those questions need to be answered at 1 a.m. Ha ha.
1 a.m. is the worst time to make life decisions. But Jake, that's an emotional habit too. Overthinking is a habit. And for a lot of people, when they try to build better physical habits, that mental noise gets louder because now you actually have quiet time to hear it.
Ah, so busyness was also a way of avoiding the thoughts.
For many people, yes. And this is why I always say, healing one habit often means uncovering several others. It's like peeling an onion, and that can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're finally paying attention. And that's actually a sign of growth. All right, let's talk about what actually works, because I know we've gone into some heavy stuff, and I don't want anyone listening to feel hopeless. So here's the thing I truly believe. Small is not weak. Small is genius.
I love that because usually when I plan a new habit, I go big. Wake up at 5 a.m., meditate for 30 minutes, run 5 kilometers, read for an hour, eat perfectly. And by day 2, I want to throw my journal out the window.
Throw your journal out the window. Jake, that is relatable on another level. And here's why that happens. You gave your brain too much, too fast. Your brain loves routine, but it hates sudden, dramatic change. When you overload it, it rebels.
So what does small actually look like? Like, how small are we talking?
Embarrassingly small. Like 1 glass of water when you wake up. That's it. Not a liter, not a smoothie, 1 glass. Walk for 10 minutes. Not a gym session, 10 minutes outside. Sleep 5 minutes earlier than yesterday. These sound almost too small to matter, but here's the magic. They build trust.
Trust?
Trust with yourself. Because here's something painful but true. A lot of us have broken so many promises to ourselves that we've actually stopped believing we can change. And no amount of motivation fixes that. Only consistency does. Even tiny consistency. When you do the small thing you said you'd do, you start to believe yourself again. And that is everything.
Wow, that actually hit differently. Because I think that's exactly what I've lost over years of starting and stopping. I just don't quite believe myself anymore when I say, I'm going to do this.
And that's okay to admit. That's the starting point. Not guilt, just honesty. I don't fully trust myself yet, but I'm going to show myself something small today. That's powerful. That's how you rebuild.
One more thing before we get to the vocab section. What do you say to people who feel like they've tried everything, like genuinely exhausted from trying and failing?
I'd say rest. Not quit, just rest. There's a difference between I give up and I need a moment. You don't have to be building something every single day. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for your future habits is to stop punishing yourself for your past ones. Let that sink in. You are not your worst week. You are what you choose to do next. Okay, take a breath with us, because now we're going to slow down a little and look at some beautiful vocabulary from today's conversation. This is our word tour, a little section where Jake and I pick words we think are just really useful to know. And we explain them in the simplest, most natural way possible. No textbooks, just us.
I love this part. All right, word number 1. Filza, you want to start?
Consistency, consistency. Doing something regularly, not just once or twice, but over and over, even on hard days. She didn't become a better writer overnight. It was consistency, writing a little every single day, that made the difference. Consistency. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up, even imperfectly. Jake?
Motivation, motivation. The feeling or reason that makes you want to do something. The why behind your actions. His motivation to learn English was simple. He wanted to travel the world and talk to people everywhere.
Willpower. Willpower. The ability to control your own actions and resist temptation. The mental strength to say no to what's easy. It takes willpower to put your phone away and actually focus, but it gets easier with practice.
Willpower is a muscle. That phrase alone changed how I think. Because muscles get tired, and you wouldn't blame your legs for being tired after a marathon.
Cope/coping mechanism. Cope. To cope means to deal with a difficult situation. A coping mechanism is the thing you do to feel better when life is hard. Some people cope with stress by exercising. Others use food or social media. Neither is wrong, but some are healthier than others.
Identity, identity. Your sense of who you are, your beliefs, values, and the story you tell yourself about yourself. Part of her identity was, I'm not a morning person. But once she challenged that story, everything changed.
Temptation. Temptation. A strong desire to do something you know you probably shouldn't do. The temptation to check his phone during dinner was real, but he left it in the other room so he wouldn't have to fight it.
Overwhelmed. Overwhelmed. Feeling like there is too much happening at once. Too much emotion, too much work, too much pressure. She felt completely overwhelmed after starting 5 new habits at once. She dropped them all within a week.
Slip/relapse. Slip. To slip means to make a mistake after a period of doing well. A relapse is going back to an old bad habit. Both are normal, not catastrophic. These are words that come up again and again in conversations about growth, habits, mental health, and honestly, in everyday life too. Knowing them helps you understand not just English, but yourself. So hopefully that felt like a conversation, not a class.
Always does. 8 words, but honestly, I feel like I need to go sit with all of them for a while.
Okay, we're getting close to the end, and I just want to leave you with something that I think about a lot. We live in a world that celebrates huge transformations, before and after photos, 30-day challenges. I lost 20 kilos in 3 months. And while those stories can be inspiring, they can also make us feel like if our change isn't dramatic, it doesn't count. But here's what I've come to believe, genuinely, from my own life and from conversations like this one. Quiet progress is still progress.
Quiet progress is still progress. I want to put that on a poster on my wall. Honestly.
Please do. But seriously, drinking water consistently, going to bed 10 minutes earlier, choosing kindness toward yourself instead of self-criticism, none of it looks exciting, but over time, it is you. It becomes who you are. Not a version you're trying to become, the actual you.
And I'd add, be patient with the timeline. We expect habits to feel natural in a week, but the research actually suggests it can take anywhere from 2 to 8 months for something to become truly automatic. 2 to 8 months. Give yourself that time.
Yes, and if you fall off, you're not back at zero. You never are. Every single thing you learned, every good day you had, that's still inside you. You pick back up from where you are, not from where you started.
Wow, I have nothing to add to that. You got me.
Good, that means it landed right. Okay, before we go, we always love hearing from you. because this podcast is a conversation, not a monologue.
Drop a comment below and tell us, what habit have you been trying to build? Or tell us your what the heck moment, that day you slipped and gave up. We've all had one. You are not alone.
And if this episode gave you something, a new word, a new thought, a moment of, yes, that's me, please share it with one person who might need to hear it today. That's how this little community keeps growing, with real conversations, with real people.
And if you want to keep learning English through conversations that actually matter, stick around. There's a lot more where this came from.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us. We see you. We're rooting for you. And we'll talk again very soon. Until then, be kind to yourself, okay? Take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Go drink some water. Seriously, though, take care.